Hey everybody, happy Friday. It's a beautiful day today and I'm here at the garden at Vestavia Elementary. The garden has really been growing with all that rain we've been having. We've got some sugar snap peas. Over here we have some kohlrabi. You can see its purple stems there. And then next to the kohlrabi, we've got some collard greens and maybe a few cabbages too. You might have noticed though, we've also got some weeds in the garden. It's looking a little bit overgrown. Here's another spot where we've got some weeds growing in the garden. Now, weeds are basically any kind of plant that grows in the garden that you didn't plant. So if we didn't plant it there and it's just growing on its own, it's probably going to be a weed. The weeds that grow in our garden come in many different shapes and sizes. Some of them are types of grass. Others are things that we might know, like a three-leaf clover. Some of them have wild and crazy looking leaves. And others even have colorful flowers on them. But remember, we don't want these weeds in our garden. We didn't plant them here, and if we just leave them, they can get really overgrown, like we can see around this cabbage. The more overgrown the weeds get, the less room our plants have to grow. So today, I'm spending some time pulling the weeds out of the garden so that our garden can go from this to this. Much better, right? Now, when you pull weeds from the garden, all you have to do is grab the plant and pull it out. But you do want to make sure that you get the roots out when you pull the weed. One cool part of pulling weeds from the garden is you can learn a little bit about some of the plants and weeds that grow around here. Here I've got a really common garden weed called Carolina geranium. Let's go take a closer look at it. Here are two different weeds that I pulled from the garden, but they're the same kind of plant. Carolina geranium. One of them has a lot of thick leaves and one of them not so many, but they're the same kind of plant. Now take a close look, see if you can notice some of the parts. You should be able to see the leaves, the stem, and the roots. If you'd like, you can point to each of those parts on your screen. Or even better, if you have your nature journal, draw a picture of the Carolina geranium. One of my favorite parts about observing weeds when I'm weeding out the garden is looking at the roots. Look at those amazing roots. They live underground and drink up all the water from the soil. Aren't they cool? Thanks for joining me today in the garden here at Vestavia. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about why it's important to weed our garden and what we can learn from looking at some of the weeds we pull. I'll see you next week. Now it's back to work pulling weeds for me for the rest of the day.